What's up guys, welcome to this issue of Motive Garage. Today we're continuing our tyre test with the Toyo Proxes R888R. Our project budget track hack is here back at Wakefield so we can put some lap times down and compare the difference. So we're just setting our cold tyre pressures to begin with. Obviously we're going to test them when they're hot. We're going 28 cold, which should be a good starting point. So last time we were here we had crummy old street tyres. Bozo went into the mid-12s and to be honest they were just terrible to drive on. So now we're back with Toyo Proxes R888Rs. Not only are they a better tyre, they're obviously newer. Now we have done a couple of track days in them already. We did the Twilight Rally Sprint, we drove the car at Power Cruise, so we are getting to test them as a used tyre as opposed to brand new, which is going to give a much better indication of how well they perform in the real world if you buy them and use them for an entire season. Nothing has changed since the last time we drove it, except for the half cage in the back. It's only a half cage, so it hasn't really added a whole lot of rigidity, but it means the car's safer and the internet won't get upset about me wearing a HAWKINS device anymore, which is good. So I'm going to take it out in the first session, scrub the tyres in a little bit because they're a bit sort of dirty and covered in debris from Power Cruise. And once I've done that, give the car to John Boston, see what sort of lap time it can do. I'll tell you one thing it does really well is lift off oversteer. Keep out. will say this, it's a different car. So first session went out and basically just tried to clean the tyres up because obviously they'd been at power cruise. Gave the brakes a bit of a heat cycle as well. We did notice in the first session the car was actually still quite oversteery. So I adjusted the tyre pressures, got them correct. They were a little bit too high when I came back last time. I also stiffened up the front because obviously if you have a stiffer front, softer rear, that can dial out some of that oversteer. And when I went out in the second session, it was a totally different car. So much more predictable now, much better balanced, and a really enjoyable car to drive. So the big thing is now, how much quicker can John Boston go? Find out soon. Well,
all right.
I'm thinking that like a high 110 would be highly impressive.
Yep, so I'll put my super fast Harry's lap timer on. So it makes us get a really fast time. Getting our way, patience with the throttle. Not too much understeer there. That's good. Come on, Chase. So 1075, 1091 and a 1092 are our three fast laps. So it shows you obviously that the tyres are very consistent, even though the temps came up and the car started sliding around a little bit more. It's amazing the difference. Even just the change of the temp of the tyre, I guess. With the car's behaviour, where initially it was a little bit understeery, and when the tyres came up to temp, you could actually start obviously sliding a little bit as we did. So obviously get rid of the little spin that we had at the top between on the exit of 5. But 1075 is what I got on my Harry. So we'll see if the other boys got a similar lap time, but can't complain for obviously something that really doesn't cost a great deal, and anything that does sub 110s around here is a fairly serious car. And obviously this is a very cheap car, and now a very fast car. 1092,
Yeah, buddy.
1091 and a 1075.
Yeah.
Completely different car. Yeah, like it feels like not that you've just put better tyres on. It feels like it's now got shocks in it, sway bars in it, and it's transformed the car.
Also, not only has it got more grip, it now actually works well enough that suspension changes are actually making a difference.
Correct.
You can actually feel what's going on.
Correct. So it actually it's really good. I was just saying on the vid, like you can feel initially like it's a little bit understeery on turning, like on that first lap, and once it starts getting heat, obviously the fronts warm up, and then you can actually start trailing to the rear. So at the moment, I think it's the perfect balance. So you can get power understeer like any typical front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive car, but then you can trail it in really nicely and be a la Colin McRae and have some sick slides.
So in terms of suspension setup, the way it is now, would you leave it and focus on, say, maybe another 30 kilowatts or something? Like, is the suspension right now, what is the suspension?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, I actually probably wouldn't change the suspension at the moment where it is. It gets a little bit of wheel spin, so the diffs open up a little bit here and there. So, if you want to have a less, like diffs are going to help it, and that'll cure some of the understeer as well. but grunt's certainly going to help it.
No mid-range.
Well, that's right. Yeah, and all you're doing, like I probably change it about 6,500 RPM, and you know, beyond that, it's still revving, but it's not really doing a great deal. I was actually surprised how good the brakes are as well. Like, I thought, it's probably going to have 2 laps in it, but it's actually the pedal was there, and that's also helped by the tyre. A lot of people don't understand the better the tyre, the brakes aren't going to work as hard.
We'll go get another 30 kilowatts and come back and run a 109.
There you go. Top job.